Thanks for tuning in to Galaxy Television. You're now watching The Buzz, your social media tracking program on television. My name is Patience Bello Kafo, and today is Tuesday, the 19th of July, 2022. Joining me at the table this afternoon, my Tuesday regulars are at the table already. With pleasure, I welcome back this Tuesday afternoon Prince Francis Chilaka, who is the Executive Director for Cool Foundation, an NGO based here in Nigeria. He's also a businessman and a social affairs commentator. Good afternoon to you, Prince Chilaka.
Good afternoon, Patience. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also at the table this afternoon, Dr. Sonny Obi-Maduka, who is a maritime expert. He's also a writer and a social affairs commentator. Good afternoon, Dr. Maduka.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
A pleasure to have you here too.
Yes, so thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
That name has come to stay.
No, okay, sir.
Apparently. All right, but you know the thing with this kind of thing is when you have someone who has like a special kind of name they call you, I think you should appreciate it. All right, because I learned a big lesson with my mom. She has a name she calls me. She doesn't call me Patience or what everybody. She has a special name, and since she passed, nobody has called me that name, and I miss that, you know. So thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you very
Maduka.
much. Yeah, thank you.
You can call me Umoke without the other drama. That's fine. All right.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Also at the table this afternoon, we have our security consultant. He's also a trained broadcaster, and the person of Mr. Richard Amuwa. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks, Patience.
My able colleague.
Thanks.
Welcome to the table.
Thanks so much.
All right, welcome viewers to the show. Remember the numbers 0802-836-8971 and 0703-570-9407. Those two lines are open for interaction, text messages, WhatsApp messages, all of that. It's fine. To get into the show properly, we're starting with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as they have confirmed 101 cases of monkeypox this year, 2022, which is the highest figure since 2017 when the disease re-emerged. The center, in its latest monkeypox situation report for the 27th week, added that no fewer than 301 suspected cases of the disease have been reported in the country. Don't forget that monkeypox is a rare viral zoonotic infectious disease, which is transmitted from animals to humans, and it occurs sporadically, primarily in remote villages of Central and West Africa near tropical rainforests. All right, so let's be mindful of our interaction with our pets, all right, especially when they fall sick. And also the NCDC is also calling for caution in how we relate with each other, because according to the World Health Organization, the COVID-19 pandemic is far from over. All right, so away from that, let's go into our topics for today. We'll begin with the IDP camp in Benue State. According to the Benue Emergency Management Agency, 80 babies were delivered in the camps in 7 months. Now, the agency's executive secretary, Dr. Emmanuel Shio, made this known on Friday in Makurdi during the agency's monthly distribution of relief materials to internally displaced persons. Now, Shio said the deliveries were registered by the agency, and he also said most of the IDPs were staying with their partners, and this accounted for the high number of births recorded in the camps. In his words, the agency is very strict on illicit sexual affairs in the camps. It's very difficult to control the tide of births in the camps because the internally displaced persons are human beings. It is the nature of man. Even when they don't have food to eat, they have the desire for sex that cannot be taken away from the IDPs. Most of them have their families at the camps. Now, the aspect we try to control is unmarried people sleeping with each other and other unlawful sexual acts that are also forbidden within the camps. All right, so this is the Benue State Emergency Management Agency, giving their report and saying 80 babies in 7 months were delivered, of these internally displaced persons. Is this a call for concern, or should we just take it as one of those things that happen?
Well, I don't know. I don't know why they're making it become like a news. I don't know why that should be a news. The news, what I would expect is to say, how do we get these people out of these camps? How do we get them back into the system?
Situated,
yes.
Properly.
So it's not about whether they're giving birth to 80 children or what. Because I would tell you that some of them were even pregnant before they went into the camp. So what's the record of those who were pregnant before they entered into the camp? And what's the statistics they have of those who got pregnant within the camp? So I think we just, this is not something we should spend our energy and time on. The government should be thinking of being proactive, rather than being reactive. How do you reunite these people back to their homelands, to their families, and let them have a normal lifestyle, not bothered whether people are giving birth to 80 children or not.
All right, thank you, Prince Chelaka. Dr. Maduka, how do you react to this story?
Yeah, let me not preempt maybe when we talk about what the president has said that he has done for Nigerians. So I think this is part of the democracy dividends, where I don't even know how the government could be so insensitive to talk about this. Because to me, it means failure. These people are even making the IDP camp now a permanent residence for them. Government should be talking about how do we relocate these people to their ancestral lands so that they can start living their normal lives. By making this, I don't know whether they are indicting themselves or they are telling the whole world they are not able to do anything, or it's part of their own scorecard to say, oh, look, during our own tenure, do you know that today we are giving birth in IDP? So it's now a part of national branding. It's unfortunate, really. Just like Chilaka said, this is not the time for us to be talking about this. I think what we should be talking about, that government has made effort to relocate these people. Just like I think Governor Zulum has built a lot of houses in Benue, and they are now relocating them. In South Africa then, there was what they call community housing scheme, where you can fabricate houses, however small it is, to relocate these ones. And of course, don't forget that most of these people that are in that ID camp, their ancestral lands have been taken over. Some people have taken over and stay there. So what is government doing to even flush out those people who are aliens in their own ancestral land? So these are the things we should be talking about. It is a failure to the government, and unfortunately, abnormality in Nigeria has become normal. So if you are normal in Nigeria, you become abnormal.
Thank you, Dr. Maduka. All right, Mr. Muwa, let's come from the security point of view on this issue. Now, Nigeria currently has over 2 million internally displaced persons, in the country. And according to this piece of news, even though they are displaced, it's human nature, procreation. They keep making babies and then expanding on that population. How does this bear on the already quite tense security situation in Nigeria? Because these people keep making babies, and the babies join their parents in the IDP camps, and then, things just get out of hand. How do we handle it from a security standpoint?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say I support my colleagues here, but unfortunately, I have some questions again, that no matter how difficult things are with you as a person or as a family, you need to understand the situation or where you are. Having children or husband and wife living together and having at that point, it's for me seriously it's uncalled for. Number one, because of their state or where they are. Number two, the government too should have provided maybe condom or something for them, knowing
contraceptives.
Yeah, contraceptives. Oh yes, for them. You see, we are talking about security here. You project, you analyze. Okay, what will happen? These guys are away from home. They are not doing anything, and meaning that every second they might be doing this. So, okay. But the truth of the matter is that there is something I've been teaching, and that is self-compliance. We don't need government or people to tell us what to do or not to do. at this state that we're in right now, Benue State is the what basket of what of
Food
basket.
Yeah.
Now these guys are not going to farm because of the situation. Most of them, I'm very sure, in that ID camp they have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. So as a father there, whatever you're going to do, you're going to think about the father. Yeah, government will provide for me, but for me as a father, you see, that's why today I look at Nigeria. I tell people that
do I need to add to the suffering?
It's not only uneducated people and that and ID camps. Because when you sent that thing to me yesterday, I really analyzed and told myself, no, enough is enough. People need to start talking to themselves, because that's the problem we have right now. Nigerians are tough. Not only in Nigeria. A friend of mine called me yesterday in France. He said they cannot find rice in any of the stores. That if you go to African shop where you see rice, it's times 3.
The price.
The price. In the US, the same thing. So because what's happening in Russia and Ukraine is, but Nigeria, we know our own is different. So for me, wherever we find ourselves right now, we don't need government to tell us bomb picking or no bomb picking.
Yeah, but is it
That's
so I want to add a quick one. We're talking of the IDPs. How about the women who are in the prisons that are giving birth? Who is responsible?
Who is responsible? That one is it's another keg of gunpowder.
It is the same
no,
keg
it's
of
not the same.
gunpowder.
No. These ones live with their family. The prison live alone.
So who gets them pregnant?
But then I think married people who are even incarcerated, they get conjugal rights, don't they?
They do.
You get conjugal rights even while you are incarcerated. So I mean, when you ask the question who is impregnating them, so I'm trying to answer that question.
The reason why we're seeing this as a topic is because of the past situation Nigeria is.
Exactly.
It's because of the fact that there's no good. Even for those of us that live in our home right now, if you have 2, 3 kids, even 2 kids, and you're still thinking about third one in this economy, we're saying the same thing.
It doesn't pay. I'm not even talking about ID camp right now. I'm talking about those of us that live.
That are not displaced.
If you have more than 2 kids now, if you have 2, and you're thinking of having another third one, you're on your own.
Papas will tell you what.
Thank you.
Let me answer you. It's acts of self-control. Just put it that way. That's major thing you talked about. Self-control can only come when you have a conducive environment. The environment they see themselves, there's no way you can be self-control, because one, your wife, you, and every other person stay in one corner of the place.
We do
the
that.
tendency. Wait, I'm coming.
Okay.
The tendency is that temptation, they said, is good for Job.
Are we now with our own wife in the same room every second? No. We know that ID camp is not conducive.
You said something. I'm coming. You said something that idle hands.
Okay.
Somebody who is not working, so he must find something to work or work on. So if we find that thing as a leisure and as a vocation, as something to work as a workshop, so that is the only thing that gives him pleasure. Let me tell you, everybody has a way of dousing tension. When you are in certain condition, like what they are in, nobody is praying to be in that kind of condition. Nobody. Even you cannot be. So you look for something that could make you happy. And if that's the only thing that makes them happy, I think the basic thing that I will always say that
nobody says you shouldn't be happy. But I think what Mr. Muwa is trying to establish is that you have to be socially responsible as an individual.
When they cannot work, their farm has been taken over, their land has been taken over. You can only be socially responsible when you have that opportunity to do work. But now the only work they have is the wife is there shaking bomb. And so what do you expect the man to do?
Dr. Madga, on language.
Sorry.
Please, daytime TV. Thank you, Dr. Madga.
Sorry. But what I'm saying that, look, situations. Create certain things.
We're talking about security and safety. Yeah, that's the question here. And we want to look at the state of security right now in that part of Nigeria, Benue State, and you are in IDP camp. Having children is not what should be thinking.
To be like the first thing in your mind.
You should be thinking about how am I going to survive this camp.
I think the reason why people are not seeing, should I say, the displaced persons are not seeing the dire situation they are in, is because you are displaced within your country. If you are a refugee, do you get what I mean? Outside, then you understand the situation you are in. I get what you're trying to say. Go ahead.
But I'm going to even as men in that camp, their body is not supposed to be standing. Because of the situation.
No, I think we should be happy. We should be happy sitting here and talking about this.
Yes.
Now we're not talking about the fact that the men in those camps are raping the women.
No, okay. We don't have that story.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We should be happy they're not doing that. At least we should be happy that those who are.
But how are we even sure that it's only husband and wife?
Those who are getting pregnant, from what the report says, they are all couples. So we're happy that the couples are exercising their marital power.
Yes, but on this table, I think government. Let's speak to the government right now. Government should provide them with what do you call it again? Contraceptives.
Relocate them back to their places.
That
is the most important thing, not contraceptives.
No, as long as they are still there,
How long have they been there? How long have they been there?
They've been there for like 7 months, according to
more than 7 months. Almost a year.
With the story,
proactive. It's not enough time for government to be able to cater for her own citizens.
Well,
so we're talking about contraceptive. You're already saying government give them contraceptive, let them continue to stay there.
Guys, listen to me. I'm talking based on the question I'm asked, and how can we make that? How can we stop that for now? And as long as they are still staying there, you guys have said, okay, government should get them a house, good. But if they cannot move there immediately, for now, every man should hold his own stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Mua. All right, still to buttress on the question I asked you, this explosion in our numbers, in population, already our population is quite high.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think we're even doing well in terms of managing that population. And I'm talking as regards the number of infrastructure on ground for the number of citizens that we have as a country. But then it is a sad situation for displaced persons also to have an issue with managing their population. Because as we know, they don't have the luxury of space and all of that. They don't have even the basic amenities, they're not properly situated. And then you're procreating and bringing children into the world in high numbers, So I think it is a worrisome, occurrence. The government should do something about it because currently, as it is, Nigeria has the 3rd highest number of internally displaced persons in Africa. All right, we are number 3. All right, so it is a cause for concern. If you ask me, you're producing these children, you are not providing them with the basic things, to nurture them into becoming responsible citizens of the country. What are we going to have as the end results, of this occurrence?
Look at the history. Let's go historically. Let's go historically. An average Nigerian man will prefer to train his child in the best way he could, under certain circumstances. All of us, most of us here are working. We have our homes. He said something about you limiting the number of children you're going to give back because you understand your means of livelihood, you know how much you have. Somebody that doesn't know even tomorrow, it doesn't have there's no inclination, there's nothing that they have seen that the government is doing. The tendency is that that person will not think accurately. See, we are thinking accurately because we can come here, sit on this AC room and think. Those people don't think. And if you are talking about being sensitive, they are. Because if you are in a place where you are not sure of tomorrow, and you don't forget that every time they are being attacked, some of them were being killed. So that's why we are talking about that the government should be very proactive. We're not saying that what they are doing is right, but the whole thing is situational. If the government could do the needful, these people will go back home, and Nigerians will not look for you to cater for them. Nigerians are very strong human beings. They work. Of course, it's not even about Benue State. Anambra, Imo, Abia, Nasarawa, Taraba, Kogi, Borno, Yobe. They all have ID camp. In fact, Niger is even worse now. So what we're talking about, what is government doing? Are we now saying, it's okay to now have IDP camps?
No.
Or if it's not okay, then what are we doing? Like I said, there are things we can do to give these people hope that they are going home. But when you don't give them hope, let me tell you, an angry man or someone who has no hope can do anything after he knows that there's no hope. But if government is giving them hope, they could be able to monitor their whatever control they want to control.
Also, we need to also look at it from the African culture and bringing it home down to Nigeria, where every man wants to leave a legacy of children. It's very important we take that into consideration. Everybody wants to make sure that when you die, your lineage does not end with you. So I think it's also part of the thing. Is the bottom line of this whole thing is the fact that government has slept for too long, and government has become so docile and giving those people the impression that it is uhuru in the IDP camp. So you're there. There is no plans to take you back to your ancestral home. There is no plans to relocate you. So a lot of them are already living there as if that is their newfound home. So there's nothing you can really do about it. And then talking about population, who gives us the figure of the Nigerian population? I feel so embarrassed that we have to wait for United Nations, we have to wait for World Health Organization, we have to wait for international agencies to tell us that we're 200 million, we're 210 million, I mean, when are we ever going to sit down as a people and have a proper census so that we know how many we truly are in this country?
Thank you. All right. Mr. Muwa, you still want to make your point very quickly?
No, it's okay.
All right, so let's take some reactions as they come in. This one is on WhatsApp. Quite a lengthy one. It's from Comrade Momo Nasir Yusuf. All right, you started with the monkeypox issue. And you said monkeypox, there we go again. From COVID-19 to monkeypox, with the ones with us already like malaria and Ebola, etc., are to me minor and irrelevant, as the greatest plague disaster virus that struck is bad leadership. Bad governance has opened doors to other plagues. No reference has ever been made to the monumental mismanagement of COVID-19 funds. Ghana called to book the officials in charge in their country recently. Corruption is the plague for me. And then you came back on the IDP story. How do you keep a viral people in a confinement and expect them not to go into reproduction? Remember, the poorer one is the more remember, the poorer one is, the more the ability and disposition to reproduce. One that wants to work but the environment doesn't allow will definitely have more time with the wife, and the result I admonish you to guess. Thank you, Comrade Momo Nasir Yusuf. All right, we still have more reactions coming in, but it's time for a quick commercial break. We'll be back. Stay with us. Welcome back. All right, we still have more reactions to the IDP story. This one says, good afternoon, Pat. Nice job. Thank you. If they are less than 8 months in IDP camp, then shows they are already pregnant before coming to the camp. Again, and they will remain in pain forever. And then you came back with they have to enjoy themselves. All right, this other one says, good afternoon, P and the panelists in the house. It would be out of place to blame these people for the sexual escapades amongst them. They are human beings, and it's blood that is flowing in their veins. If the government feels worried, let the government do the needful by returning them to a conducive environment where they would enjoy privacy. They see more of themselves because of closeness. This makes them appreciate one another and get attracted to one another sexually. Iola from Ile-Ife sent that one in. All right, we have text messages as well. Lanre from Ile-Ife says the newborn babies might be a replacement for their family members that have been wiped off in the attack that led them to IDP. All right, thank you for that. Clement Samuel from Abeokuta says if they are at IDP camps for just 7 months, it means most of them have been pregnant before the displacement into the camp. We should blame them less and pray more for them. Can any normal couple live together without conjugation? All right, let me just make a quick clarification. Now, they've not been in the IDP camps for 7 months. They've actually been there since this whole insurgency and insecurity thing started. All right, but then the period of the report, is taking it from, a certain point to a certain point, which is a 7-month period, all right? So it is within that 7 months, 80 babies have been taken delivery of, all right? It's not like they came in with pregnancies, just to clarify that point. All right, this one says, good afternoon. Okay, I think I read this one on WhatsApp. Okay, this other person is also agreeing with Mr. Amunwa, says that they should have distributed contraceptives to avoid pregnancies. And then it all the buck stops at the doorstep of the government once again, you know, because the issue of population is a huge one. It is a big one because it can make or break you as a nation if you don't manage your population very well. And talking about government distributing contraceptives, when was the last time you actually saw on your TV any campaign for family planning? I recall while growing up, you know, those messages were always on the television, like literally back to back. You know, you see those messages on family planning, but all of that you don't find on TV anymore these days. So who is championing these awareness campaigns, you know, for people to actually know, you know, you can use contraceptives, you can enjoy yourself and still control, you know, birth and stuff like that?
You see, that's where the Ministry of Information, Federal Ministry of Information, failed, and that had to go to Mr. Lai Mohammed because he's the Minister of Information. You see, a lot of things have just gone. I don't know which adjective I want to use because I'm on TV here. It's not just working. Maybe that's a fair word to use. When we are growing up, there's this jingle that goes on TV every time. Make una call police, make una call police. Police not be wish, police. All those things, they take it home to the to the grassroots. That when you see something, you say something. You see, all kind of jingle, educating people. People are not practically taught things on one-on-one, but they learn it on TV, on radio. So what I'm talking about, what's NTA doing? What's the Federal Radio Corporation doing? All those stuff, they are government properties. You see, I've told Nigerians, and I'm still going to keep asking, in 2023, before that 2023, if the man that's going to contest in your local government or in your state, I've not told you what he's going to do, please, just forget it. Like we are talking about IDP camp right now. Anybody that's going to be governor of Benue State, what's his plan? All we keep talking is attacking characters. It is only one candidate I know that is telling me what he's going to do. So Nigerians, in fact, this 7 months we have before election is so beautiful.
Quickly, sir.
You know, when you throw your arrow, when you shoot your arrow towards the Ministry of Information, I just laugh because whether it's the Ministry of Information or not, we have a body that is meant specifically to disseminate certain information to the Nigerian people, grassroots level, breaking it down to individual, to the different languages we have in this country, and that is the National Orientation Agency. Under
what ministry?
I'm coming. It's under the Ministry of Information.
Exactly.
But we need to call who is responsible, because this agency, people are employed in this agency. People are receiving salaries from the tax.
I'm coming. Sorry. You have the table. If the bulls that we're in today failed, it's not patient's fault. It is the CEO, because CEO he has a direct order. You understand? So if Ministry of Orientation is not doing well, it is the ministry, the parent ministry that we're going to hold responsible.
Allow me, I'm coming to somewhere. Because you see, when we keep saying ministry, you talked of NTA, you talked of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. All of these are under one ministry.
Yep.
You see, it is time that ministry is taken away from political appointment. What we have running in this country is not the Ministry of Information, is APC mouth organ that is going on. Because what you have, Patience, what you have is, the only time you see them talk, or you see the Ministry of Information talk, is when it has to do with APC. But when it has to do with Nigerians as a people, you don't hear the Ministry of Information talk.
All right. Thank you, everyone. All right, this one, Matthew on WhatsApp says they are better happy than depressed into suicide. Okay, this one. Jeremiah